Okay, so what I'm going to do real quick, I'm in Illustrator and I want to convert an image, 2D image, into a vector piece so I can move it around and do some stuff. I've done it several times before, so it's a quick process. First, you want to find an image that has a lot of contrast. That helps a whole lot. So I'll take this image. I'm just going to drag and drop. Now, I'll always, when I'm working in Adobe, have a Explorer window. An window open to my art so I can find things faster. It's faster than actually trying to use the browser in this system. So anyway, I just drag and drop, create object. Now this is the layer. If I wanted to create a new layer, just click on this button. I can select this guy, hit Control C, click in this guy, hit Control C, hit Control V, and paste it in there. And now I've copied this layer over. So I have this guy, and then I have this guy. Notice how the object is surrounded in a color that is equal to this little color right here, or this swatch right here. And if you want, I think you can change it pretty quickly. So anyway, so what we want to do is convert this one into vector art. So I'm going to go ahead and hide. First off, I'm going to also lock it. This means I can't do anything with this layer, can't select it. So if I lock it, I'm going to hide it. That protects that layer, so that way I won't mess up too much. If I take this one piece too far, I need to backtrack, I can use this. I always have a backup. So first off, it's a pixelated image right now. We want to make it vector, so all I'm going to do is click on Image Trace. Now if I just click on it, it's going to do its simple process. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that real quick, and I want you to see this little arrow, and you get different options here, and this will add more shapes depending on how much quality you want to keep. You can convert the entire thing as a photo quality, and that'll give you a bunch of shapes that you can manipulate later. Takes a little bit of time. Now if I hit expand to make it all unique, or break up the shapes into different pieces, you'll see how complex it is. So I'm going to hit Control Z. It's going to undo this. Control Z again to take it back into a rasterized image or a pixelized image. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit default, which is the same thing as hitting trace. Now we can change different things we want, see different aspects of what we're after. If I just hit expand right now, you can see what I have. Now all these little pieces are the shapes that you can manipulate. Alright, so now hold Control and you hit the plus and minus, you can zoom in real fast. This is the move tool. It's right here. It's the V key. If I select it, it's going to move this whole thing around. If I select this, that's actually going to allow me to get into actual little pieces here. So first off, I want you to notice one thing to happen here. Notice how this layer, the rasterized image, we go into the layer, we only have one image. I go into this, and we have all the different shapes. Each one of these guys represents an actual specific shape in the actual image. Be wary that this layer is selected and not this one, because if you want to make a new layer, just to show you, it's going to put it right above. Oh no, it didn't. Oh, that's funny. Never mind. Ignore that. Just be wary and know where you are in your layers. Alright, so go ahead and hide this guy again. So what I want to do now is get into here and just move this piece around. I want to get rid of some aspects of it. So I'm going to click on this direct select, which is the A key. Alright, I want to and the magic wand also allows you to select one color or something. I can use the A key now and just move this over. Now I've taken everything that's white off the black outline, and the black outline stands separate from everything else. Usually you're going to want to have that white because of the fact that it's giving you a background for your outline for your object. So right now what we have is Illustrator. We have a vector-based piece, and so what we want to do is move it around and put it into a different background. So I'm going to open up. I'm going to click on layer 1 and create new layer, and I'm going to put a background piece. Bring back my Explorer window, and let's find something else to put it on. I think I got something. Okay, I'm in a maps folder that I have, and inside there water texture, and I'm going to grab the water one. I'm just going to slide this over, slide this on. And minimize this guy. Alright, so now we have this guy, and he's below our piggy. While I'm hit Control minus to zoom out, I'll hold a space bar, I can pan my image. So I'm going to go back to the V tool, and I'm just going to transform, scale this image, make this fit right here. Alright, so now I go here, click on this guy, I'll hold shift while I scale, it'll keep its proportions. If I hold shift and alt, it'll scale from the center point, which is useful when you want to just get a little piece of it. Alright, so now that we're at this point, let's go ahead and talk about lock, what we can do to get rid of this white background. Sometimes that happens, and it can be a little tricky because you have aspects right here which keeps this whole white piece a single object. So what we try to do is find ways to delete pieces of it. Notice the A, I'm using the A button or the direct select tool, which allows me to select this one point. And I can delete it, and you can see what it basically gets rid of. It's a little too much. So we'll have to actually figure that out. That's going to actually take some work. But in the meantime, I can work with what I've got and try to work around it. Typically what I'll probably do is do an outline of the entire animal in one layer. And since that'll take time, I'll probably actually have to pause the video to do that. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pen tool. Now what I like about this software is that as I click on this and I get this option, I can click on that arrow, and now my tool sets are floating, and that's important. What that'll allow me to do is just, you can draw, you can add a point or an anchor, subtract one, and then you can convert it, and I'll show you all that is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly do a quick outline. I've created a new layer. I've locked the piggy. I can hide everything I don't need. I'm just going to go ahead and start here, and I'm going to use the pen tool, and I'm going to draw around the basic shape. Now if I hold Alt while I'm in this mode, I can see I'm drawing this handle. I get this other hand to come down, and I get a sharp point. Spacebar to move or pan. Now all I'm doing is clicking and holding, and then when I get this angle that I want, I hold Alt to get the second anchor. I make a corner piece. Spacebar. Now you notice that it's filling up around my object based upon where I put my line. You'll see a big fill right here, and I'll show you where that's at in 1 second. If it starts to bug you, and if you're using the pen tool, it is down here. I'm going to have to expand the screen. I'll pause this. Alright, so I popped off the toolbar. It's this guy right here. So I take this, I close that, and now you see that it's open. And then if I want to have a different outline so you can see it, what I'll do is give you something bright and shiny to look at. Alright, so now I continue what I'm doing with the drawing. I can undo as I draw, which is very nice. Oh, ignore that. I can actually click before I hold Alt. click and drag just to get the shape I want. Now this takes practice. I've been doing this for years, so don't be surprised if it doesn't happen comfortably right away, but you start to understand where you can put pieces and points the more you do it. So we'll have to go back and fix that guy, and I'll show you how to do that real quick. Notice I'm matching the handles on the basic angle of the drawing I want to mimic. That way you'll get a pretty precise look at what you want. Now, I'm not too worried about absolute perfection on this. Undo. Because I can do a lot of cleanup and fixes. Whoa, that was crazy. And then there's the point. It should make it whole, but check it. I hit A. It's all one line. Alright, so now, hide my color wheel. Using this guy, I can anchor things. Using the direct select, I can move my handles. Now, this is a pain. This is where I get frustrated with the software. If you're not very precise with where you select, it'll tend to let you know, and you get a little frustrated with the little snippety attitude the software can give you. They probably made it more forgiving in the last few years, I hope. I hold Alt and I can change this to a corner, and you know, to make the handles separate. So I'll go back in here and fix this guy. See? Alright, so remember using the A tool to get these tool sets. Let's put you, uh-oh. Alright, now that I got that, and this will take time. Usually it takes a lot of time, but all I'm doing is basically creating a background fill. So I go in here, I'm making that white on the fill. I go into my layers, I swap the, let's grab this guy. I can just get him to move. There, okay, so he's underneath that guy. Take that, make that blank, back in the layers. Now I go to this guy, I'll lock this one, and I'll show you what I'm going to now. I'm going to go to A, and I'm going to select that and delete it. Now you can see where I got some fixing to do, but you can get the idea of how to go back in there. So I go in here, lock that, unlock this. Using the A tool, I can go in there and clean this up. And that is essentially about everything I do with Illustrator. I hope this helps. Thanks.